Hey, this is Mr. Elmhorst with the help video for the homework on graphing linear inequalities. So we take a look at the first one here, and we're going to look at the variable y, and y is going to be starting at 2. So we go on the graph to where 2 is, and because it says it's equal to, we can have any value here on y that could be for x that's at 2, and then the y is on the greater than side. Greater than will be above y, so we can just shade this in. Any values for y on this graph that are above 2 would be true for this inequality. So that's just looking at y only. So now we go to number 2. We're going to use this strategy. We're going to make an xy input-output table, and in the middle we can write the rule or the equation, and this will help us graph this inequality. So we start with 3 times x, so whatever x is, you multiply by 3, and then we subtract 1. So how that's going to work is, write 3 in here, and we put in 0 minus 1. So wherever the x is going to be, we're going to take out the x and just substitute some values in here. So starting with when x is 0, and we do 3 times 0, which is 0, minus 1. So then the y is going to be negative 1. So the input is 0 and the output is negative 1. We go to the next one. We take out the x and then we put in 1. So 3 times 1 is 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. And then for the last one down here, 3 times 2 is going to be 6 minus 1. So the output would be 5. So when x goes in, y comes out. And now those become our coordinates. So the first two coordinates is going to be 0, negative 1. So when x is 0, y is negative 1. So we'll plot our first point right here. The second point is going to be at x is 1, y is 2. X is 1, y is 2. And then we look at the third point. Looks like I'm going to have to make a correction here. So the correction is for the first point. So where x is 0 and y is negative 1. I notice this is negative 4, so it's not going to go all the way down. Okay, so now this is x is 1, y is 2, and then we go to the third point. X is 2, y is 5. We go over 2, and then up past 4 just a little bit. So that is going to be 2, 5. So we could connect this with a line. So this equation here, 3x minus 1, is now graphed on the coordinate plane. So now we're going to look at the relationship of y and what side y is. Anything that is below, y is going to be below wherever that line is at. So we go here to the below part, and then we can just shade this part in that is below that line on the graph. All right, continue on with number 3. We take a look at the rule or the line. So this is our inequality, but this rule is also going to represent the line that goes on the graph. So we're going to take out x and then put in 0. So negative 7 times 0 is going to be 0 plus 3. So we have x is 0, y is 3. and we take 1 and we put 1 in here. 1 times negative 7 will be negative 7 plus 3, which is going to put us at negative 4. We have 2. Negative 7 times 2 is going to be negative 14. Negative 14 plus 3 is going to be negative 11. So this variable is negative. So we're going to notice that the line or the rule for the line, the equation, is going to be going down. So starting at our first point, 0, 3, we're going to go y is going to be 0, 3. And then our next point is going to be 1, negative 4. We're going to go over 1 and then down 4. And then the other one is not going to be on the graph. So we can do our best to connect those lines. So we're going to connect the line, and that is negative 7x plus 3 is our line. And now y is less than or equal to. So the less than side is going to be on the left side over here. And I just noticed something. I need to go back and make a correction over here. Because this is equal to, we are going to have a solid line, but this one is not equal to. So it's everything that goes up to the line, but not including the line. So this would be more of a dashed line going up through there, saying that that's where the line is at, but it's not equal to. Okay, and continue on with number 4. We're just going to use the input-output table. So 8 times x, we're going to take out the x and put in 0. So when x is 0, y is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. We got 1, 8. 1 times 8 is 8. And then 2, 16. 8 times 2 is 16. So this is not equal. So it's going to be a dashed line. So we're going to start with 0, 0, and then 1, 8. 0, 0, 1, 8, 2, 16. And we're going to have to do a dashed line. And this says y is greater than 8. So we go up where y is greater than, and we can shade that in. It'll be anything in this direction that is going up from the 0, 0 point. Should we starting to get the hang of it here? So here we're going to take out the x and then put in 0. So 0 times negative 5 is 0, minus 2 is negative 2. That's going to be 0, negative 2. And we take out x and put in 1. 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. Minus 2 is going to be negative 7. So we're going to go over 1 and then down 7. And we have 2 times negative 5, which is going to be negative 10. Minus 2 is negative 12. And that's going to be down here somewhere. We look at our sign, it's equal to. So we can put a solid line there. And it says y is greater than. Y is greater than whatever is going on with the rule. So greater than y is going to be on the right side here. We're going to shade in y going up. So number 6, you could certainly use 3/2 to multiply through this rule, through the group. However, we could probably make it a little bit easier for this example and change it to a decimal. So we're going to take out the x and then put in 0, 1.5 times 0, and then that is just going to be 1.5. So as we multiply the x and we multiply the 1. We take 1, multiply by 1.5, and then we add 1.5, so that's going to give us 3. And we have 2 times 1.5, that's going to give us 3 plus 1.5, so we got 4.5 for the output. Now we go graph the points, 0, 1.5. So when x is 0, y is 1.5. When x is 1, y is 3. 1, 3. And then 2, 4.5. So it looks like it's just going up slowly. And it is equal to, so we're going to have a solid line. And y is on the less than side. Less than is going to be under. So we're going to shade in where y is under the line. Now, we could write this as -4 plus x, but that would also give us x minus 4 as a rule. You have x, and then you take away 4 each time, x minus 4. So keeping up with the format that we just did, y is less than x minus 4 or -4 plus x. Take out the x and put in 0. The output is going to be -4. Then we put in 1. 1 minus 4 is going to be -3. And then 2 minus 4 is -2. So we started at our first coordinate, 0, -4, 0, -4, and then we have 1, -3, over 1, down 3, 1, -3, and then we have 2, -2. Go over 2, down 2. Okay, now we look at our sign. It is not equal. It's not equal, so it's not going to be a solid line. And then y is below this rule. The rule is the line, and then y is below. So we're going to go down below the line on y, and then shade this area in. So we have no x in this situation. So we're just going to do y is less than -3. So we're going to find y for -3. It is equal to, we're going to have a solid line, and then it is everything that is below that line. And for the last one, we have x plus 1 for the rule. And now we take out x and put in 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. So we're going to graph our first point, 0, 1. Then we're going to graph our second point, 1, 2. Over 1, up 2. And then our third point, 2, 3. Over 2, up 3. And this is not equal. Since it's not equal, then we are going to do a dashed line. So it's not included. And then y is greater or above. That is going in the up direction.